Welcome to Tuesdays with Terra. I'm Terra Bundance, and today I'm going to share a little bit about what it means to be an empath and or a highly sensitive person, and one exercise that you can use to support you if you are someone who tends to pick up on other people's energy or other people's emotions or even other people's physical ailments and discomforts. So, I've been an empath my whole life. I've known about it since I was about 7. So, I've lived a lot of life with empathic awareness, which means that I've had a lot of life to build many different tools to support me. And it is exactly why I have chosen to focus my energy and time as much as possible on supporting other people who have these abilities or have these gifts, what I consider a gift, uh, to just give you some tools that might support you in being able to live out your life in the best possible way. So I even wrote a book about tools for transformation, and I'm in the process now of writing a book called Tools for the Empath. So, one of the tools that I'm writing about in my newest book, my latest book, is called Is It Mine? So, being an empath means, for me, I can speak for myself. Being an empath for me means that I can walk into a room and I can pick up on something that just happened. There might have been an argument, or there might have been a lot of laughter, or there might have been someone crying. And so I'll walk into that space and I'll immediately feel whatever the emotion was, whatever strongest emotion was in that space. I could be talking to someone as an individual and they may be thinking about something really sad and suddenly I feel really sad. Or they may be in a lot of physical pain and suddenly I'm noticing that I have a pain that is unusual for me. So, also being a highly sensitive person, and of course, I'm not a doctor or a therapist, but I know for myself from the reading that I've done and from the experience that I've had, recognizing what it means to be highly sensitive, there's a few different things that show up for sensitive people, and it could be different for each person. Some person could have a combination of all of the things that I'm about to describe. Some people may have one of them, some people may have a couple of them. So, being highly sensitive means that you pick up on things that are going on around you. Now, being an empath means that you generally tend to feel it within your body or feel it within your energy field. So if someone is, say, I put my parents and I were driving one time and I was really young, like 8 or 9 years old. And we pulled up over a hill. And right when we pulled up over the hill, right before that, I was saying to my mom, I'm feeling really bad. I'm feeling really bad. Like my arm is hurting a lot. My arm is hurting. And I'm feeling like my head is hurting. And we heard an ambulance go by. And I started crying, immediately started crying. And my mom, being the amazing person that she is, my mom, shout out to my mom, Sherry Farmer, by the way, she just grabbed my hand and started saying a prayer that meant something to her. And so as she's holding my hand, she kept saying, give it to God, give it to God, just give it to God. She said, be a hollow tube. And this was long before we knew what hollow bone meant, that energy moves through us to God, or to source. And so as she's holding my hand, we come up over this hill and we see that there's an accident at the bottom of the hill. And to me, it felt like energy arms. I could almost see arms reaching out to me. And it hit me like just like I can't even describe it. It hit me like a wave, like a huge wave. And it took my breath away. And I was like bawling at this point. My arm, my arm, my arm, my head, my head. So we eventually got around the accident, and my mom found the news the next day. Later, I think it was later that week or a couple of days later, she found in the newspaper that there had been an accident, exactly that accident, and that the person had broken their arm and had hit another person, had hit their head so hard that they got a concussion. So that was the moment where my mom and I really understood what it meant to be an empath. So because I could feel that energy, I could feel it before we even reached the accident. Um, that means that I am an empath. So I physically, emotionally, energetically feel what other people are feeling. Not always, and I've learned how to dial things down and dial things up, and depending on where I am, this is one of the exercises that I'll be sharing with you in a moment. Now, being highly sensitive means that you may be sensitive to loud noises, to smells, to energy in the room. You may be affected in a very intense way to things that are going on around you. So if you're somebody who is highly sensitive, who has sensitivity to noises and sound or loud sounds, or people jumping out at you, or strong smells, and it takes your energy really low, takes your energy down. Um, that can affect your mood throughout the rest of the day, and it could affect how you respond to people throughout your day as well. So another part of being highly sensitive is that you pick up on things that are coming. So somebody like I tend to be more the second one that I'm naming right now. I pick up on things before they happen. So I have had dreams where I sensed the possibility of something happening to someone, contacted them, let them know, hey, I had a dream about this thing. Just be mindful for the next couple of days. And then they'll call me back a few days later and be like, the thing you mentioned did happen. And I was present and aware. One time it was a car accident that somebody, I never wears a seatbelt and never wore a seatbelt at the time. And I called him and I said, I need you to promise me that you're going to wear a seatbelt. He's like, whatever, I'm not going to do that. And I said, please promise me that you'll do it. He's like, fine, I'll do it. I didn't know if he would. So, because I had had a vision or a dream while I was taking a nap one afternoon that he was in a terrible car accident and it threw him from the car. And I can't remember if he died or if he was really seriously injured. So a day later, I get a phone call from him and he's like, I'm okay. But I will tell you, Tara, I was in a car accident. I was looking out for it. I was being very mindful. And if I and the police said that if I had not been wearing my seatbelt, which I wouldn't have done if you hadn't begged me to do it, that I would have been thrown from the car. So that could be one way of sensitivity. Another thing could be that you sense or feel large catastrophic things happening or about to happen. So in the animal world, what that looks like is animals will move to higher ground when something is about to happen, a fire or a tsunami or something like that. But it's only 20% of the herd or the crowd or the group of animals. So it might be two or three deer in a group of many animals, and suddenly they start moving to higher ground. Well, because the rest of the pack or the rest of the herd or the rest of the group of animals recognizes that this particular deer in the group has always been able to sense things before they happen, they would follow that deer or that wolf or that animal. So I sense things that feel like they're about to happen, and so that's happened throughout my life many times. I don't predict things, and I don't even like to feel put on the spot around predictions because I don't feel into predictions at all. And yet, I've known when, like, I had a dream one time when a tsunami was one of the recent, fairly recent tsunami that happened in Japan. I had a dream the night before about a huge tsunami happening in a different country where I couldn't understand what people were saying. And so, and then the next day the tsunami happened. So that actually happened also with 9/11. I had a dream about planes crashing into a building. It was about 2 or 3 days before it happened. Of course, I didn't know because how am I supposed to know what my dreams mean until looking back and or the moment happens. Um, Many times that's happened throughout my life, and it happens with small things as well. So one of the many, many exercises that I will be providing in my book, and that I also provide here on Tuesdays with Tara, is called Is It Mine? So if you're an empath, or if you're highly sensitive, and or both, and you tend to feel things when you move into a space, or you walk away from a situation and you have a pain in your body, or in your body, mind, energy, emotion space, a couple days later you could be just dragging or really in pain, and it doesn't feel normal for you. So one of the things you can do is take a deep breath, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Let's just practice this now. Let's just do it here. Tune in to the energy, emotion, or physical thing that you are feeling. And then you would say, is this mine? And you'd feel into the energy. Okay. Is this mine? And if you notice it dissipate, that means it is not yours, it's someone else's. At least for me, this is how it works for me. And it may be different for you, but kind of feel into this exercise and see how it works best for you. If you feel into is this mine, and it gets stronger, that usually means it's mine. If I say is this mine and it stays right about the same place, it could be a combination of someone else's and mine. So what I do in that moment is I breathe. If it's not mine, I say to myself, I cut the ties, I cut the cords to whomever this belongs to. I let this go. This is not mine. I release you. If it is mine, I do a practice. I could do EFT, I could do a focus wheel, I could breathe into my body and do a meditation and work through whatever it is that's trying to come up to be cleared. And then if it's a combination, then I may have to do a combination of those two things. Release it for someone else. This is, if whatever is not mine, I let it go. And often what I'll feel is it'll dissipate quite a bit. It'll still be there, but it won't be as strong. And then I practice on whatever it is that I need to do for myself. So I hope this is helpful, and I'll be sharing more here around this kind of thing. And if you have questions, or if you have specific things that you're really trying to figure out or work on for yourself, please comment in the comments below, because I do receive those comments and I do respond to them. And in the meantime, take the time to look at my other videos, because I do have lots of exercises and lots of meditations and practices for empaths, and just for people just in general, that support you in creating a healthy environment for your body, mind, spirit. So take this time for yourself. And if you're feeling anything unusual or uncomfortable, just check in with yourself and ask, is this mine? Do what you need to clear that space, clear that energy. And if these videos are helping you in any way, please let me know. It really does help me to hear how this is affecting other people. My sharing this is affecting and helping others in the world. Have a blessed and beautiful day.